digging my chili when I'm laying down. That is not true.
Everybody comes in your grandmother. 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 Everybody comes in. He 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 comes in. Comes in your grandmother ear.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. On political corruption, we are going to restore honor to our government. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection concerning force all laws concerning all laws concerning information. No one will be above the law.
Why attack Sanders? Why?
You're getting nervous. Why?
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines. Action lawsuit against all machines. Action lawsuit against all machines.
Through the polls, Jack. Through the polls, Jack. Through the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me. Good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with me. I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I would say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You know, you're a beta male.
Beta!
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the goddamn. I am here once again to do a show. Once again, I am here, and I'm going to be doing a show today. So anyway, got a program, lined it up. It's lined up, and I'm in line. And we're doing a show today. So I'd like to say a warm welcome to who's in here? We got Pike Mence. Warm welcome. Everyone give a round of applause for Pike Mence in the chat. And also Bob Carmody is here and more. So there you go. We're doing a show today. I'm doing a program today that is, it's a program. And I would like to announce to y'all that there is a very pressing concern developing in this location that I am at right now. There is a new discovery. We have discovered a new creature, a new animal. This is a shark dog. This is a new discovery. We've never seen this before, but we've got a team of scientists that are seeing if we can figure out what the hell is going on here. But we got a shark dog live. Maxie! As you can see, he is a shark dog. Max, why are you a shark dog? Why are you a shark? Why are you coming over here? You're supposed to go where the camera is. You're knocking shit down with your tail. It's just destructive and dangerous shark dog, as you can see. So, that's some crazy shit going on. That is some crazy shit. So, anyway, so, got a show, doing a show today. Today is September, today, of the 26th day of September. And we're doing a show today. Today's the Above It All show 1694. We're doing the Above It All show today. And so doing another episode. Doing another episode today. And I will not be covering the UK today. To be honest, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, what I will be covering is a startling headline that I read. And let's check this out. COVID-19 linked with substantial increase in type 1. Not to be confused with type 2. Type 2 is diabetes that you develop due to insulin resistance. If you're, eating a lot of carbohydrates and so forth. Type 1 is a different kind. Diabetes in children, as much as 72%. Now, again, just to be clear, that is not 72% of children. That is a 72% increase in type 1 diabetes being found in kids that have had COVID. Now, we know from the CDC statistics and data that about 82% of kids, those under age 18, so if you're under the age of 18, there is an 82% chance you have had COVID-19 at least one time. 82% of kids, people under the age of 18, teenagers, under 18s in this country, 82% have had COVID. So I wonder, does subjecting an entire generation to non-consensual medical experiments, I wonder if that has any problems, right? Throwing them into prisons, poorly ventilated prison rooms where they're constantly being infected with a virus, reinfected over and over again, just so that Biden can say, the schools are open, Jack. He's fine. He's in the White House, right? So, but anyway, let's read this. According to a new research study that analyzed electric health records of more than 1 million patients ages 18 and younger, children who were infected with COVID-19 show a substantially higher risk of developing type 1 diabetes. Researchers at the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine reported that children and adolescents who contracted COVID-19 were more prone to developing type 1 diabetes in the 6 months following their COVID diagnosis. Now again, 82% of under 18s have had COVID at least one time, at least once, right? There's a good chunk of them that have had COVID 3, 4, 5 times. The study was published on September 23 in the journal JAMA Network Open. The findings showed a 72% increase in new diagnoses of type 1 diabetes in COVID-19 patients 18 years old and younger, although the research emphasized that it is unclear whether COVID-19 triggers new onset of type 1 diabetes. So it could be that people are latently like they're going to have type 1 diabetes and it hasn't shown itself yet, and that, if you're infected with COVID, is going to accelerate that time frame. That is a possibility. It's unlikely, from what I understand about type 1 diabetes, that COVID is just creating new type 1 cases out of nowhere. But we also know that COVID is having a heavy hand in type 2 diabetes as well, because COVID, again, it reduces your body's efficacy of, processing, foods and so forth. It just slows everything down, can lead to insulin resistance over time, especially a lot of people in this pandemic have resorted to eating a lot of unhealthy food. So type 2 diabetes is definitely something that you can acquire and that COVID can have a say in. But type 1 diabetes is a more interesting thing. Type 1 diabetes was previously known as insulin-dependent or juvenile diabetes, although it usually develops in children, teens, and young adults. It can happen at any age. Type 1 diabetes is much less common than type 2. In fact, only about 5 to 10% of people with diabetes have type 1. Currently, no one knows how to prevent type 1 diabetes, but it can be treated successfully. Nationally, approximately 187,000 children and adolescents younger than 20 live with type 1 diabetes, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Quote, type 1 diabetes is considered an autoimmune disease, said Pamela Davis. She is a corresponding body. It occurs mostly because the body's immune defenses attack the cells that produce insulin, thereby stopping insulin production and causing the disease. COVID has been suggested to increase autoimmune response, and our present findings reinforce that suggestion. The team of researchers analyzed the de-identified electronic health records of nearly 1.1 million patients aged 18 and younger diagnosed with SARS-CoV-2 infection between March 2020 and December 21. In the United States and 13 other countries, they also analyzed those diagnosed with non-COVID related respiratory infection during the same period. The study population was further divided into two groups, patients up to age 9 and those aged 10 to 18 years. After careful statistical matching to account for age, demographics, and family history of diabetes, there were 285,628 in each group for a total of 571,000 patients. So once again, I don't know many people out there that keep up with COVID news. I'm always got my ear to the ground when I see some new studies that show about long COVID symptoms. Now again, I don't know. I'm not an expert when it comes to type 1 diabetes. I know a lot more about type 2 than I do about type 1. So is COVID creating the diabetes out of nowhere? Like, would these people have otherwise not had diabetes? Or is it more likely that they had the underlying symptoms, or it's going to develop at some point and COVID just accelerates that timeline? I'm not sure. Among the more than 571,000 pediatric patients that researchers discovered that within 6 months of SARS-CoV-2 infection, 123 patients had received a new diagnosis of type 1 diabetes compared to 72 patients who received a new diagnosis following a non-COVID respiratory infection. This represents an increase of 72% in new diagnoses. So again, it's not that many, which is another thing to understand. So it's more likely that these people, these children, are already predisposed to being able to develop or will develop type 1 diabetes. It's just that this possibly accelerates the timeline. Still, right, not good. Not good, right? We shouldn't be subjecting our children. Again, 82% of under 18s have had COVID at least one time. And again, there's a huge chunk of that population-wise that are, before school age, and 0 to 4, 0 to 5 years old. They haven't gone to school yet, right? So that's probably where the remaining 18% lie. But either way, again, under 18s being subjected to a disease that they shouldn't be subjected to because our country wants to prioritize money for rich people. Not great. Not great. At 1, 3, and 6 months following the infection, the risk of diagnosis of T1D was substantially greater for those infected with SARS-CoV-2 compared to those with non-COVID respiratory infections. Similar results were reported with patients in the infant to 9 years old and 10 to 18-year-old age group. So you can read the rest of this if you'd like. Just another thing to worry about if type 1 diabetes runs in your family and, you're not sure if your kid would develop type 1 diabetes, probably better to not send them to a prison where they're going to be infected multiple times with the deadly virus. Just my suggestion. But anyway, again, more and more findings coming out of COVID that say it basically, again, we've known this, but it basically destroys every aspect of your body, right? So any disease that could be developed or would be developed in any part of your body, COVID-19 is going to fuck with you. And so, again, we've seen in this country type 2 diabetes is skyrocketing probably because of, changing dietary choices in this country due to the pandemic, combined with the fact that, if you get COVID, it slows your body down, slows your metabolism down, produces inflammation. Inflammation can lead to insulin resistance. So, type 2 diabetes skyrocketing, but also type 1 also skyrocketing. Not good. Not good. So, but again, who knows if these people would have all developed it anyway, and it's just like a sooner onset. But again, either way, a sooner onset, that's not good. That's not good. I'm going to live to age 17 before I have to get shots every day if I can. I'm going to live to, instead of 15. It's, quality of life. But anyway, there you go. I got a shark dog hanging out next to me. Hi, shark dog. Hello, shark dog. Why are you such a shark? Why are you such a shark? Max, you're a shark dog. Look at him. Max, why are you such a shark dog? Oh, now he's going back over here. Max, you're a shark dog. Oh, and now he's under the table. I can't with this dog. But hello, users. We got a shark dog on the premises. This dog is getting a full body massage right now. And he's standing menacingly under the table. Max, why are you standing? Why don't you sit down? Are you going for a third loop, Max? Are you going to loop around me a third time? Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening? Nope. Okay, he's abandoning me. We got a shark dog, as you can see. Really causing a mess at our facilities. This shark dog, eating up a bunch of things. He's a shark dog. Anyway, got a show going on today, doing a program. This is the Above It All show. This is the 1694 show of the September show. This 26th show. It's the 26th show in September. So that's great. This is the show. Ooh, I'm drinking a lot of coffee on an empty stomach, so I'm getting a little acid development. Not the good kind. So we got a program. Doing a program today. I'm doing a program. Let's check this out. Mace says there is pressure on the Republicans to impeach Biden if they win the House. Isn't that great? I mean, let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about, like, the history of impeachment in this country, right? Just real quick. Who have we impeached as a nation? Well, Andrew Johnson, far-right conservative, who destroyed Reconstruction in this country, took power after Abraham Lincoln. He was impeached, not convicted, because Republican senators at the time were all pussy beta bitches. Imagine a world where he was convicted. We would have a totally different frame. Nixon, far-right conservative, who destroyed this country. Now, again, he resigned before being convicted, so we'll never know how that went. Right? Donald Trump, impeached twice, right, for extorting a country, just extorting the entire country, and as well as trying to overthrow the results of an election and trying to overthrow the U.S. democracy. He was only impeached, not convicted. Now, which Democrats in recent times, Andrew Johnson was a Democrat, but which, like, so-called liberal version of the Democratic Party? We've had Bill Clinton getting impeached. Was Bill Clinton impeached for war crimes? Maybe the crime bill? Maybe all kinds. No. He was impeached over a blowjob, right? Maybe you could say shouldn't have perjured himself. Okay, I'm willing to listen to that argument. Again, Republicans, modern day conservatives that are in the Republican Party, they don't have a good track record with impeaching Democratic presidents. It doesn't usually go well. It just kind of embarrasses them and everyone else and just kind of wastes everyone's time. But here we are. I guarantee you, if Republicans take the House, this country is, I think we're fucked in a lot of ways. But if the Republicans take the House, I think we're going to be dealing with I'm telling you this, non-fucking stop impeachment shit. Non-stop. Could be impeachments, hearings. There's going to be trillions of hearings on Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. Again, I need you to understand, Republicans are not a political party. They are a neo-Nazi Christian nationalist cult. That's it. They're not a political party. They don't engage in politics. They certainly don't engage in policy. They don't give a fuck. They're just a cult of sycophants that tried to overthrow the U.S. government, okay? Rep. Nancy Mace on Sunday said Republicans will face pressure to impeach President Biden if they take the House majority in the midterms. Quote, I believe there's a lot of pressure on Republicans to have that vote, to put that legislation forward and have that vote. Mace said of an impeachment vote when asked about NBC Meet the Press, when asked by Chuck Todd. I think that is something that folks are considering. Oh, great. They're considering. Oh. Mace declined to say how she would vote on a potential Biden impeachment, but noted that she did not vote to impeach former President Donald Trump in 2021 because due process was stripped away. What? Due process was stripped away? What the fuck does that mean? So again, step one. Donald Trump pretends to win an election that he lost. Donald Trump lost the election. He's pretending that he won. Step two, right? He directs his followers to literally storm the Capitol and overthrow the U.S. government and dismantle the U.S. system of government, destroy the Constitution. Step three, he's impeached. Nancy Mace says, hey, but the day process, quote, I will not vote for impeachment of any president if I feel that due process has been stripped away for anyone. And I typically vote constitutionally regardless of who's in power. What does that mean? I vote constitutionally? What does that mean? I vote constitutionally? What does that mean? I vote constitutionally. Well, the Constitution says you can't vote. You're a woman, bitch. You're not allowed to even run for office. You're not allowed to vote on anything. That's what the Constitution says. But you might be wondering, oh, but the amendments. Oh, great. The amendments. All right, I'm glad you brought up the amendments because I'd like to remind you, 14th Amendment, Section 3 says you're not allowed to run for office or be a president if you engage in an insurrection. So Donald Trump engages in an insurrection, right? And you're worried about due process? What the fuck does that even... And what is the due process? Like, if it's impeached too fast? Like, what the fuck are you talking... Oh, due process. They never explain this shit. Right? They always just say, hey, it's due process. Yes, it is. What? How? Hey, it's due process. But how is it due process? It's just due process. It's a fair due process. Like, what would you say would be fair? Due process. Yeah. Constitution. Yeah. Like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Get this fuck. How many times do I have to press X on this bullshit? Fuck. Get out of here. Oh my god. All right. I want to do the right thing for the long term because this isn't about today, tomorrow, or this year's election. This is about the future of democracy. This is a Republican. This is about protecting our Constitution. What? 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 I mean, like, did I read this wrong? Republican, South Carolina. This is a Republican talking about defending democracy and the Constitution. What? Wow. Okay. I mean, again, these motherfuckers are dumb as hell. Okay. Others in Mesa's conference have already taken the first step toward impeaching the president. Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced articles of impeachment the day after his inauguration, accusing him of abuse of power in relation to business dealings with his son, Hunter Biden, in Ukraine. House Republican leadership last week released an outline of their agenda if they take the House majority, dubbed Commitment to America. The agenda proposes conducting rigorous oversight to rein in government abuse of power, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, these motherfuckers are dumb as hell. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I need you to understand. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution. They don't give a fuck about due process. They don't give a fuck about... Like, they literally don't give a fuck about any of this. Like, it's all lying. They lie 100% of the time. I need you to know this. Most politicians lie 100% of the time. Every Republican politician lies 100% of the time. Now, Democrats lie like maybe 99% of the time, and there are Democrats that lie 100% of the time, but every single Republican is a fucking serial liar. Right? Like, again, what? Due process in the Constitution? What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? What the fuck are these people talking about? But anyway. There you go. Got a show going on. We got Real on in the chat. For better or for worse. So this next story, my opinion, going to be pretty fun. I'm not doing any heavy hitter news. I mean, maybe a little heavy hitter news later in the show. I'm gonna set up this candle. I got a candle here. I'm gonna set up this candle. So give me a second. Got a candle going on. So. Yep, getting into the candle thing. All right. I watched the TYT debate that y'all recommended. I watched it offline. I know I can make a lot of money and views if I did it online. Maybe I will. But honestly, it wasn't like the ending is really the cringy part. Like the first 20 minutes is just like Ole saying the basic facts, and then like Anna's basically like on board for pretty much the whole time, but then Cenk is just like he got epic triggered for no reason. And honestly, it's kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a clip of it or something. I'm not sure, but I did watch it when I was editing videos, so it's not bad. I'm glad they at least had her on. Hello, Letterhack. Letterhack's going to be doing a stream tonight, so feel free to subscribe to the Letterhack's YouTube channel. They're going to be drawing me. I'll try to show up if I can. But you like to stream when I'm in bed because you're evil and you hate me. When is the stream going to happen? Let me look. 9:30 p.m. Like, Jesus Christ. I am passed the fuck out at 9:30 p.m. These motherfuckers. All right. Doing a show today. Doing a program. Got a show going on. I've been doing these shows. My hair is like really fucked up. I haven't brushed my hair in a couple days, so it's like really fucked up right now. So, bear with me. But I'm doing a show. All right. So, Donald Trump privately slammed Ron DeSantis, calling him fat, phony, and whiny. There's a shark dog on my couch, by the way. Why the fuck is there a shark dog? Max, you're a shark dog. All right. Anyway, all right. So this came out of some book or some shit. I don't know. let's check this out. Former President Donald Trump has been making rude comments in private about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. As some of that has not been in private. Motherfucking Donald Trump was out there truthing about Chris Christie like a week ago, and it was pretty brutal. Let's just put it that way. According to a new book by New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman, in an excerpt from Confidence Man, The Making of Donald Trump and the Breaking of America, published by The Atlantic on Sunday, Haberman detailed a meeting she had in the summer with Trump in the latter's golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. During the meeting, she spoke with Trump about Christie, one of his 2016 election rivals. Quote, "I was compared to him? Why? I didn't know I had that big of a weight problem," Trump. Like, Donald Trump was, I think, historically either number 1 or number 2. I think Taft might have still been number 1, but historically he was the top 2 most obese presidents of all time. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, and Christie wasn't a president, but I'm just throwing this out there. The motherfucker eats Big Macs for breakfast, okay? I just, like, what? Haberman also wrote that she heard of Trump using similar terms to describe DeSantis. She also recalled learning from sources that Trump had called DeSantis fat, phony, and whiny. Now, I will say, let's scroll up here because we have a photo. Like, say what you want about Ron DeSantis. I would say he's not that fat. Now, you know, maybe overweight, sure. But, you know, about 70 or 80% of Americans are overweight, right? So, but phony and whiny? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like 100%. This guy is the whiniest, phoniest bitch motherfucker in the world. And so, you know, I agree with Donald Trump on that one. Per the excerpt, Trump told Haberman that the question he most often received was whether he'd be running for president again. The answer is yeah. I think so, because here's the way I look at it. I have so many rich friends, and nobody knows who they are, Haberman wrote of Trump's response. What? What the fuck? What does that mean? She added, reflecting on the meeting of having been president of the United States, his first impulse was not to mention public service, or what he felt he'd accomplish, only that it appeared to be a vehicle for fame, and that many experiences were only worth having if someone else envied them. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, we already know that. Representatives for DeSantis and Christie and an aide for Trump's post-presidential press office did not immediately respond for insiders' requests for comment. DeSantis and Trump have been posited as leading contenders for the 2024 Republican presidential ticket, though neither has made a formal declaration about running in the next election. I just want to tell you this, right? There is no way, not a chance in hell, that Ron DeSantis can beat Donald Trump in a primary. Like, I don't know. I know that some liberals think that that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. There's a 0% chance that Donald Trump is going to lose the Republican primary. I will bet $5,000 on this. Someone clip this, send it to me. Now, again, one caveat. If Donald Trump goes to jail and somehow is not able to run from in jail. Now, I've read some reports that say that some people are able to run in jail. You know, maybe 14th Amendment Section 3 disqualifies him. Outside of any of those things, right, if there is an election and Democrats don't actually enforce 14th Amendment Section 3, there is a 0% chance that Ron DeSantis can beat Donald Trump. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, Ron DeSantis could be the vice presidential pick, and then Trump can eat one too many Big Macs and keel over an office. But outside of that, and again, the idea that DeSantis is even a remote threat for Donald Trump, to me, I think is hilarious. So, in July, a DeSantis representative told Insider that DeSantis remains focused on Florida and running for re-election as governor this year. However, the governor has been boosting his political profile, blah, blah, blah. So the rest of this is just some garbage. But anyway, do we have a record of this? Do we have a tape of this? No. So this is conjecture. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's you know, hearsay. But it's funny. And I love things that are funny. And so it's hearsay, but it's also funny. Also, we got a shark dog on the couch. Like, what the hell is going on there? Holy shit. Got a fucking shark, dog. Drinking some water. I'm hilarious. In what way am I hilarious? You think I'm fucking funny? What the fuck? I'm trying to do a fucking serious ass news show here and I'm getting called hilarious? Unbelievable. You know what that is? You know what that is?
Unbelievable.
All right. Speaking of unbelievable, I mean, there's just so much going on here. Like before I play this clip, I just want to look at the still image. So, Donald Trump was doing a rally. This is a couple days old, but I just saw this. Now, there's so much going on here. So, we're at an RSBN. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I've seen it before, but I don't know what it stands for. Trump rally, limited time offer, Birch Gold Group, free Trump silver coin with any purchase. Now, I fucking can't. Okay, the last time that they did a rally, it was on Newsmax, I think. Or, yeah, I think it was Newsmax. They did a free Trump gold coin, right? Now it's a free Trump silver coin. And now look at this fucking coin. Donald J. Trump, and it's his profile, and he's got, like, his hand here. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, is that, like, swearing an oath or some shit? And then you've got the White House on the back. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Why do people want a Trump coin? Anyway, so we had to get that out of there. So anyway, Donald Trump was at a rally. He was at a political event. He was at a rally. And, well, watch it for yourself.
Country.
Let me raise the volume.
Country. Remember, I was going to say, I was going to use an expression, we have to keep our country gay, but it's not, I mean, for some reason, it's just not great anymore.
What did I just hear?
Our country gay.
What? What? Hold on.
We have to keep our country gay, but it's not, I mean.
Okay. So, first of all, step one, keep our country gay. This is like that other clip I got. Where is that? Hold up.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
All right, we're going to keep our country gay. Now, I just want to say that. I agree with Donald Trump. I'm ready to keep the country gay. Now, we're going to play this game. I often play this game where, so we've heard the clip, we've seen it, we've watched it in its entirety. Now, you know, it's like listening to one of your favorite songs, but focusing on, like, the bass or focusing on the drums or, you know, focusing on the vocals, right? You just want to pick up some extras up. I want you to look at the background. Pick someone. Just, it's your own project. Pick someone in the background. I know that we have this weird shit, so it's a little small. But just pick someone in the background. Watch their reaction. This is a game I like to play at Trump rallies, so watch, just pick a random person. This guy, maybe, with the Save America sign. All right.
Country. Remember, I was going to say, I was going to use an expression, we have to keep our country gay, but it's not, I mean, for some reason, it's just not great anymore, and we can name those country. Remember, I was going to say, I was going to use an expression, we have to keep our country gay, but it's not, I mean, for some reason, it's just not great anymore. And country gay, but it's not, I mean, for some reason, it's just not great.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. So anyway, we're gonna keep America gay again. So goddamn CAG. MAGA. Remember these people who kept spamming comments on everything? MAGA. CAG. Like, you ever see someone just, like, scream in your face, CAG, with, like, 20,000 exclamation points? CAG. Well, now we know the CAG stands for Keep America Gay. So there you go. Donald Trump, he's not doing so well out there. A lot of people say Biden is, unfit to serve. Well, Exhibit B, Donald Trump. So there you go. Anyway, so we're doing a program today. Again, I watched Ring 2, the Japanese 1999 film, last night. Tonight, I'm going to be watching Ring 0. All three of these are on AMC Plus on Shudder. So I'll only be watching these three for the franchise this year. One of these days, maybe I'll try to get the rest of them. But anyway, I'm not going to do a movie review yet. Got some more news to go into, but just throwing that out there. If anybody is interested in funding the Spooktacular, I'm trying to find, a lot of these movies are really hard to find. Some of them I'm having to buy, on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever. So if you want to help fund these efforts, PayPal or Cash App, it would help a lot. Cash App, PayPal, I get the money instantly. I don't have to wait. If you give me money at a super chat, I'm not going to have it until November. So I'm just throwing that out there. So if you want to help fund the Spooktacular in any way, that would be great. If not, that's fine too. But depending on how much money I get, I'll be able to, change which movies I'm watching this year. Maybe do some more classics. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. So we're doing a show. This is the Above It All show that I'm doing, and I'm doing it the Above It All show. This is the Above It All show. Episode 1694. Yeah, it's a show. All right. So this is just a silly article from The Hill. We're just having fun at this point. The Hill has an article here written by Amy Parnes. I don't know who that is. The 7 Democrats most likely to run for president if Biden bows out. So my first, before I go into this, if Bernie Sanders is not on the list, I'll be upset. So anyway, President Biden's statement this week that it remains to be seen if he'll run for a re-election has prompted more Democratic chatter about whether they'll have a different candidate for the White House in 2024. If Biden doesn't run again, a number of Democrats are expected to wade into the presidential waters, but even Vice President Harris doesn't seem as a definitive leading contender in such a situation. Quote, "There's not one clear candidate and there's not a rising star," said one top Democratic donor. Here's who is generating the most talk and the most confidence. So I'm assuming that this is in a list of no particular order. Kamala Harris. Oh, wow. Well, Harris, 57, has seen her own approval ratings fall at times during an up and down tenure as vice president. She remains the top 9 Biden possibility for 2024. Strategists say it would be difficult to convince black women who helped catapult Biden to the White House to vote for anyone else as the party's standard bearer. I love that strategists are saying this. Strategists are like, oh, every black woman in the country only votes based on skin color. Right? It doesn't matter if Kamala Harris is a cop, right? It doesn't matter if she's a prosecutor and that she spent her entire career attacking, communities of color. That doesn't matter, right? She has a slightly darker skin tone, so all the black women in the world are going to vote for her. I don't know, man. I've talked to a couple black women that, let me just say, they don't like Kamala Harris, so just throwing that out there. So no one's going to win the nomination without winning the South, okay? So next up, Pete Buttigieg. Again, Pete Buttigieg, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't go out there and say Pete Buttigieg is the proto-Trump. The proto-Trump. What did Trump do in the 2020 election, the general election? What did Donald Trump do? He pretended to win an election that he lost. He came out there on election night before the votes were counted and claimed victory. What did Pete Buttigieg do in the Iowa caucus? He came out the same night before the votes were counted and declared victory. In both cases, they lost. In both cases, they both pretended to win. So, again, I don't know. Do I want an election denier going up against another election denier? I don't know, man. So I'm just going to skip the Pete Buttigieg. That's really all I have to say with that. Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The two Biden administration fixtures are on the top Wait, the two Biden administration fixtures are on the top two non-Biden Democrats on our list, okay? The most likely alternatives after them are two governors. The first is Michigan's governor, who came closer than many realized to being Biden's pick for vice president. Now, Whitmer, 51, is catching the eyes of Democrats as she runs for re-election. She's running for governor again in this year's midterm. This week, she opened up a 16-point lead over her Republican opponent, Tudor Dixon, in a Detroit Free Press poll. Whitmer has made it a point to lean in on abortion rights in particular. At a recent event, she highlighted her role in the fight. Quote, the only reason Michigan continues to be pro-choice is because of my veto and my lawsuit. So anyway, I would say on this list so far, Gretchen Whitmer, you know, she's not perfect, obviously, but I'm going to say she's probably the best on the list. But all right, Governor Gavin Newsom. What is this, by the way? Like, what is this thing he's doing? So, like, what is that? Like, how do you even get your hand to look like this? Okay. Like, who, what? Who speaks like this? I don't know, man. Anyway, Governor Gavin Newsom. He's been in the news a lot. He's been doing a lot of bullshit going on in California. Some good, some bad. And he's definitely trying to raise his profile. He's been publicly making advertisements attacking Ron DeSantis, right? So at a time when Democrats have been craving a leader who would get in the faces of Republicans, Newsom, the California governor, appeared to do battle. Newsom, 54, made headlines in July when he took the fight directly to Ron DeSantis, running an ad in the Sunshine State blasting the Florida governor and the conservative culture there. Quote, freedom, it's under attack in your state. Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors, he said in the spot, which ran on Fox News programming throughout the state. So, I don't know. I would say Gavin Newsom, I would say I probably would want him more than Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg. That's my opinion. Probably better than both of those. But I would rather have Gretchen Whitmer over Gavin Newsom any day. Elizabeth Warren, of course. Elizabeth Warren, I mean, she's a lot grayer than I remember. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Elizabeth Warren, of course, her most famous and most impactful political contribution in her entire career and in her entire lifetime was ensuring that Bernie Sanders lost the Democratic primary in 2020, and then we got a centrist corporate goon as president. So congrats, Elizabeth Warren. I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. All right. And then Bernie Sanders is on the list. So, of course, obviously, Bernie's going to be my number one. I'm glad he's on the list. You know, usually they put, you know, there's been this weird thing in mainstream media where, like, whenever they do polls, they just ignore that Sanders said he would run if Biden doesn't. So I'm just throwing that out there. By the way, this is a great photo of Bernie Sanders, man. I love this guy. Anyway, it's tough for some Democrats to see the senator from Vermont launching another presidential campaign. After all, he is 81 years old, and if elected, he would be nearly 90 by the end of his term. But Sanders has become such a staple of the Democratic Party. Again, he's not even a Democrat, though. He's an independent. That's why he's so great. He's more of a Democrat than any of the actual registered Democrats since his first White House bid in 2016, and it's hard to rule out a run. And if he did compete, he'd definitely have support. Whenever there's a debate that matters to the base on student loans or climate change, he's at the heart of it, one strategist pointed out. So actually not bad on the write-up on Bernie here. Obviously, Bernie, I would vote for Bernie no matter what. If Bernie runs, I don't care who else runs. I vote for Bernie. That's my position. AOC, I don't know in any universe where Bernie and AOC would run in the primary together, unless they're doing like like the strategy that the centrists did in 2020. We're like, I would rather have, let's have like all the progressives all run for president in 2020, right? So that way they're all in every debate and they're all talking about great things, right? And then they all coalesce around Bernie right before the primary. I'm down with that. In fact, honestly, that's the only real solution here. Because what is the biggest play that the centrists did in 2020, right? It was Bernie versus the machine. There was no one on that stage, maybe debatably Mike Gravel, that was anywhere even close to a left-winger on the debate stages in 2020, right? And Mike Gravel, I think, did a good job, and he was... when he was going out there and campaigning, he didn't really make it in the debates. But again, that was their strategy. Throw everyone at the wall, coalesce around Biden right before the big election, and just waste everyone's airtime, dividing debates into 2 nights, wasting everyone's time, right? So honestly, I would like to see a lesson learned on the left. If every progressive, all of them, everyone in the squad, right? Fuck it. Let's pretend Elizabeth Warren's on our side for this one, though not really. every progressive anywhere runs for president, gets on the debate stage just to talk about progressive ideas and all that kind of stuff. And then when the push comes to shove, they all coalesce around Bernie. That's the ideal solution. So AOC, okay. Almost no one in the Democratic Party has had the meteoric rise of AOC as she's known. What the fuck? And while most strategists doubt the Congresswoman from New York will run for president just yet, her name is constantly bandied about when what the fuck? About when Democrats complain that their bench is weak. Anyway, so obviously on this list, it would be Bernie, if I were to rank them, AOC, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, and Kamala Harris, and Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren, in that order. But anyway, I personally don't think Biden is going to run. I understand why he would pretend like he's going to for the midterms. I don't think he's going to run. So if that's the case, Bernie has said he would run. Now, again, he didn't confirm it. He's not saying outright, I will 1,000% run if Biden drops out. But he said probably he would run if Biden dropped out. And so if that's the case, I would go with Bernie all the way. In fact, let's not have that bitch on screen for as long as possible. But my pick, Biden, or rather Bernie. But yes, my pick is Biden. I'm a Biden voter, of course. No, but my pick is Bernie on this list. And as soon as Bernie launches his campaign, I am going to sign the fuck up. So that's my opinion. Anyway, fun little list. Every once in a while, we got to do some fun listing, some battle rankings, keep things light, keep things fun. But there you go. I'd still vote for Warren or Buttigieg before Harris. I'd vote for Harris before Buttigieg. That's my opinion. And really, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Buttigieg has no politics. I think Buttigieg has no politics, no experience. He's a little bit of a beta. And he would just do whatever the administration says, whatever the people in the room say. I don't think he's actually, Buttigieg to me is like a vessel of just whatever neoliberal economic professors are in his ear. So to me, I don't even view him as a person. And Elizabeth Warren, honestly, if she runs for president again, I mean, if she's the furthest left, I would vote for her. But really, honestly, it's going to be hard. She's such a fucking whore. I hate her so much. Anyway. There you go. A nerd for president. I'm down with some nerds. Not to be confused with the candy. All right, y'all. Let's get into some news here. So there's a war going on, for those of you that don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of wars going on in the world, but one of the ones that is getting most attention in the news is Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, going on this weekend, or last weekend, I guess, was a quote-unquote referendum in eastern Ukraine, where Russian-occupied cities, after they've killed everyone who supports Ukraine, after they've made everyone leave who supports Ukraine, and after they've tortured and murdered children, have decided to, everyone that's left likes us, so let's do a referendum to vote on joining Russia. So anyway, Russia has said, Vladimir Putin has said that if Ukraine or anyone attacks the, quote, Russian motherland, that he is open to using nuclear weapons, and the consequences will be dire, or whatever word he used, right? So he's basically stealing land illegally, and then claiming that land is his, and then claiming if anyone tries to take their own land back, that he's going to bomb them with nukes. That's basically what he's saying. And so that was over the last weekend. Well, anyway, now we see in the news the U.S. has responded. So, oh boy, that's great. Okay. U.S. warns Russia of catastrophic consequences if it uses nuclear weapons. This is from the New York Times. The comments by the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan illustrate how quickly the rhetoric has intensified as Russia has faltered on the battlefield in recent months. So, again, this is a very complicated subject. It really is. Again, Russia is an imperialist warmonger. What they're doing in Ukraine is evil and it's disgusting, right? Them threatening to use nuclear bombs, evil and disgusting. I would also say that the U.S. threatening, is this a nuclear threat? I mean, what kind of catastrophic consequence would there be if it doesn't involve the U.S. sending nuclear bombs onto Russia, right? So this is the, the hell world scenario that we're dealing with here, right? Both countries have said that they're going to nuke each other. If it all depends who's the first to pull the trigger. Mutually assured destruction, right? Maybe, right? Now, I have maintained if there is a nuclear war, I'm going to live. I maintain I'm going to hide in my basement. It's going to be like Fallout 3. I'm going to hide in the goddamn vault. I've got cans for days and months and years in my basement. I'll be fine. But the world's going to be fucked. Now, again, I'm just going to read this a little bit and then I'll go on. President Biden's national security advisor said on Sunday that the United States had warned Russia that there would be catastrophic consequences, that's the phrase, for the country if Moscow used nuclear weapons and its increasing desperation to hold on to territory in Ukraine, adding that in recent days the U.S. has spelled out how the world would react in private conversations with Russian officials. The advisor, Jake Sullivan, repeated the comments several times in 3 Sunday television interviews, though he left deliberately vague whether those consequences would be military, economic, or diplomatic. I don't know, man. Someone says, I'm going to drop a nuke in Ukraine. You're saying there's going to be a catastrophic consequence if you drop a nuke in Ukraine. We have the largest nuclear arsenal of any country. I don't know, man. Pretty scary. Officials were quick to say that they still had not seen any movement in Russia's stockpile of 2,000 or so small tactical weapons, which can be launched from short or medium-range missiles, despite President Vladimir V. Putin's threats in a televised address last week with, that is, quote, "This is not a bluff." But Mr. Sullivan's use of the word catastrophic as a deliberately ambiguous warning of a major, if almost certainly non-nuclear, why would it be non-nuclear? Answer me this question, right? The U.S., official U.S. policy is they bully and threaten everyone in the world with the U.S. military, right? The U.S., the only country to really ever use nuclear bombs. Let's be honest, right? I don't know, man. Why would anyone think catastrophic means non-nuclear? Why would anyone think that? I don't know. I don't think anyone thinks that. But New York Times seems to, I guess they want to downplay the nuclear threat. I read catastrophic consequences as a threat for nuclear retaliation. That's how I read it. Response to a Russian nuclear detonation illustrated how quickly the rhetoric has intensified as Russia has faltered on the battlefield in recent months. In late May, Mr. Biden wrote a guest essay in the New York Times in which he said any use of nuclear weapons in this conflict on any scale would be completely unacceptable, as well as the rest of the world and to us as well as the rest of the world, and would entail severe consequences. So maybe they're implying that they've made a secret deal with China, where it's like, or Iran, or hey, probably not, but maybe North Korea. I don't know. If whoever uses nukes, everyone else is going to bully the shit out of them. Maybe, you don't need nuclear weapons in that scenario. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe China would launch a nuke on Moscow and they wouldn't see that coming. Otherwise, right? I don't really see, what possible catastrophic consequence could you make? Right? I don't know. We saw the sanctions going on. That didn't really work. The Russian currency is going back up, right? So the sanctions haven't really worked. So diplomatic consequences, what are those? I don't see that happening, right? So militarily using, what is NATO going to invade Russia? If NATO invades Russia, in a ground invasion or an air invasion, and Russia's already used a nuclear bomb on Ukraine, why would Russia not just use another nuclear bomb in a NATO country, right? I really don't see where the non-nuclear part of this is, okay? I really don't see where that is. American intelligence officials said they still believe the chances that nuclear weapons will be used in the conflict are low. Now, I don't know what that means. How do you factor that in? Can we see the formula? But they believe these chances are significantly higher than they were in February and March because Mr. Putin has lost confidence in the ability of his ground troops to hold territory, much less take over Ukraine. Mr. Sullivan is a longtime student of nuclear escalation risks, and he has been walking a fine line between orchestrating repeated warnings to the Russians and avoiding statements that could prompt Moscow to raise the stakes, perhaps by beginning to move weapons toward the border in a menacing show of seriousness. He indicated as much on ABC's This Week on Sunday. Quote, "We have communicated to the Russians what the consequences would be," Mr. Sullivan said. "But we've been careful in how we talk about this publicly because from our perspective, we want to lay down the principle that there would be a catastrophic consequence, but not engage in a game of rhetorical tit for tat." Okay. Hold on. So, we don't want to engage in tit for tat rhetoric. Meanwhile, we're going to be catastrophic. There's going to be catastrophic consequences. I don't know, man. That seems tit for tat to me. I don't know. It's a little scary. You can read the rest of this. It's pretty scary. But I don't know why New York Times has this gradient. Maybe it has to do with like the way that my ad blocker is functioning. But that's pretty weird. Anyway, is there going to be a nuclear conflict? I hope not. It would be pretty darn scary if there were. But I'm going to go out here and say that I'll be fine. So don't worry about me. If there's a nuclear shit going on, I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Worry about yourself. Worry about your dogs. I would say worry about your kids, but honestly, fuck those kids. That's just a liability. But go get your dogs. I don't know, man. I really don't think that either country wants to use nuclear weapons, right? I hope not, right? But I don't know. If Putin says he's going to use nukes or willing to use nukes if people attack Russia. He says the eastern Ukraine is now Russia. Ukraine says that that's Ukraine, right? Internationally, it is Ukraine. Do the reasons matter? Like, think about this, right? Once the nuke is launched, whatever reasoning or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing matters. Once the nuclear bomb is launched, nothing matters, right? Whatever happened before is irrelevant, right? But, like, these motherfuckers are crazy. I don't know what to tell you. We live in a world where all of our world leaders are fucking crazy. They're all fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy. Every single world leader is fucking Looney Tunes, okay? They're killing each other over magical lines in the sand. Right? They draw a line on a piece of paper and then say, "I'm going to murder you and your whole family over this piece of paper's line." What? What? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Why? Grown, not children, like crying over like who gets what part of the sandbox. Grown adults. Grown adults are drawing on pieces of paper and saying, "That's mine! No, that's mine!" Grown adults. This is psychosis, man. I need you to understand. This is like these people are unwell. Like, imagine what has to go through your mind for you to be 70 years old, however old Putin is, and threaten to destroy the whole world because of a magical piece of paper with a drawing of a line on it? Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I mean? Wow. That's crazy shit. But again, this is how we orchestrate our society. We elect the dumbest among us. I mean, look at the UK. Look at Italy. Look at what's going on in Sweden. We as human beings elect and support and endorse the stupidest motherfuckers on this planet to make all of our decisions. Isn't that crazy? Think about that. The dumbest motherfuckers ever made, ever being spawned on this planet are the ones in charge. Bolsonaro? My God. Donald Trump? Joe Biden? Jesus. Some stupid ass motherfuckers, man. So, everyone is responsible for this. All of humanity, I gotta say. All of humanity is responsible for this shit. This is what happens when you let adult children become leaders of countries. What the fuck, man? So, anyway, hopefully we don't all die, but I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So that's the show for today. Gonna be getting into the Spook-Sixular segment pretty soon. But before I do that, I want to use the bathroom. I've got to pee. So I will be right back. Give me like a couple minutes, maybe even less than that. I'm going to go pee. Then I'm going to do a movie review. Then we're going to fire up some motherfucking Q cocks, okay? So post your Qs, post your cocks. I'll be right back. Let's go. Testing. Is this thing on? Testing. All right. Post your cues. Where's the cocks? Jeremy Corman seen playing a Doom clone where you... No. That's not real. That's not real? That's not real. That's not real. Oh, they have an arcade cabinet? Are you joking? That's not real. I'll look into that later. That's great. I'll look into that maybe tomorrow. I'm not answering that question, Saul. No one's posting Q-cocks. What the fuck? What the fuck? The hell's the matter with you people? Can't follow instructions. Anyway, we're going to be jumping into the movie review section of the show. There you go. So last night, I watched a movie. I watched a film. I watched Ring 2. I know that there's another sequel to this movie called Spiral. I did not have access to that movie. I'd have to buy it somewhere, which I haven't done. So I'm watching Ring 2. The other day I watched Ring. Last night I watched Ring 2. All right, so now I have to say, I've seen the American Ring and Ring 2, or The Ring and The Ring, TWO. I've seen those movies, so I haven't seen the new American version, and I haven't seen anything else. So I'm watching the Japanese originals for the first time. And I gotta say, Ring 2, I don't think it's as good as the original. I think Ring 2, I think it's really good. So Ring 2 is like, it kind of picks up immediately after Ring. And it's like it's like another murder mystery kind of thing, where some of the side characters from the first movie, like the friend, the main character's like friend at the news agency, or like, the TV studio, whatever it is now one of the main characters, right? The guy, like the ex-husband or whatever, his assistant, is also a new main character, right? And the mother and child from the first movie are on the run. They're in hiding, essentially. And so it kind of picks up right off. We got new characters. And the child becomes a new character, like a main character about halfway through again. Because his mom dies and one of the other characters takes over. So I think that this movie had a lot of really good stuff with it. I think a lot of really good stuff. Like the one part where the news reporter promises to watch the tape when one of the schoolgirls who he asks to get him the tape watched it and then like got really freaked out and asked him to watch it. He forgot to watch it. She died and then she haunted him. I thought that was great. I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was a really good aspect to the story. The kid being kind of semi-possessed by Sadako, at that part was really kind of under like shown, I think. Like, it's implied, right? And they kind of like try to depossess him. But I think that they could have done a little bit more with that concept. One of the things about this sequel, Ring 2, now again, I don't know about Spiral, I haven't seen it. But one of the things about this sequel is, it kind of suffers from they're trying to explain the horror. Like one of the big aspects is they have like scientific experiments that they're doing on a lot of the characters. Like the girl from the beginning of the first movie who saw the person at the beginning of the first movie die. She is in like a mental hospital and they do experiments on her and stuff. And that's cool. I liked it at first, but I think they spent way too much time trying to like explain the supernatural elements. To me, I don't know. Like I understand why some movies want to explain it. I like when it's left vague. Ring 1 kind of just leaves it vague. Ring 2, they try to explain it. I think they spend too much time with all the scientific experiments. That's just my opinion. They could have done that in a lot less time. But some of my favorite parts in this movie are the ending scene with the well. The well at the ending when Sadako is climbing the well, chasing the kid and the math assistant from the first movie. And then Sadako like appears right next to her, but then like doesn't do anything. She just says like, why are you allowed to leave, essentially. And then she like drops back into the well. Okay, I'm in. Okay, they're setting up, more stuff, I guess. I don't know. To me though, like, I think Ring 1 just had, like, the perfect flow to it. Like, the whole thing's a murder mystery. It ends with a death. It ends with seeing Sadako and she kills someone. Ring 1, I just think that the flow was much better than Ring 2. Ring 2, I feel like it was too complicated. I feel like there's too many things that they're trying to express. Like, the math assistant is also someone that has, like, the mind-reading power, just like the ex-husband of the one character. The mom of the kid from the first movie, she dies. She gets hit by a car in one of the scenes. And so my opinion, Ring 2, way too complicated. I feel like they could have taken out the scientific stuff or like severely reduced it and just like kind of given every other aspect of the movie more room to flow. That would have been a little bit better. But again, I think overall it's a good movie. They had a lot of scary moments. In my opinion, like the scene where the one girl is going through the mental hospital but trying to avoid looking at the television and then the television turns into the well image. I thought that was really scary. I thought that was really well done. There's a lot of this movie is really well done, but I just think, again, it gets a little bogged down. Like, I think there's too much unnecessary stuff in it and it kind of like reduces the amount of time for the more interesting parts of the story. Now I know that there's a Ring 0. I don't quite understand like the lore of the Ring movies quite yet, because I know that like I need a flowchart for this shit. I'm chronologically confused. So there's Ring 1998, and then there's Spiral, which is also 1998, but then there's Ring 2, which is 1999, and then there's Ring 0, and then there's The Ring, which is like the American version, then there's The Ring 2, which is a sequel to the American version, but then there's Rings, which is another American movie I haven't even seen. I don't even know what's going on. And then there's like the Sadako versus like the Grudge character. I gotta watch that. That's what I'm aiming for. But anyway, I don't know I am chronologically confused on this shit. I have no idea what the fuck's going on with which movie takes place when and where and how. But either way, I know they're based on books, so I'm sure the source material makes a little bit more sense in the movies. But either way, Ring 2, made by the director of the first Ring, not Spiral. I liked it. Overall, I would say I liked the movie. I think the first one is much better. than this movie, just in terms of flow and vibe, you know. Ring 1 kind of had that like murder mystery vibe to it that they went with this one, except it's just the side characters from the first movie with the murder mystery stuff. And then like the kills, the deaths, like the threats, all that was really good. But I don't know, I just thought that the scientific stuff took up way too much time and it didn't really provide much of anything. That's my opinion. I just feel like this movie was going in like 20,000 different directions. Overall, though, I'd say it's a good movie. I'd say it's fun. I'd say it's a good sequel. But I do think that the first one is much better. I wish that we did see some more Sadako in this movie. I think the ending scene with her climbing out of the well, that's like one of the creepiest things, right? When she's climbing out of the well and her arms and legs are all contorting very bizarrely. I think that the American Ring 2 does a way better job of that, in my opinion, than this Ring 2. But anyway, I don't know. I thought it was overall a good movie. I think I'm going in circles here. I'm going in a loop. I'm going in a spiral, maybe you could say. You know. But anyway, I think I've said everything I need to say about Ring 2. Tonight, I'm going to watch Ring 0. These 3 movies are on Shudder, which is on AMC+. So if you want to check them out. I've never seen any of them before. I've seen the first 2 American movies, but I've never seen the Japanese ones. I think the first Japanese Ring is better than the American Ring. I think the American Ring 2 is better than the Japanese Ring 2. That would be how I would rank them. I don't typically like to rank movies like that. But that's my reading of this. I think Ring 2 American really does drop a lot of the extra shit and focuses on more of the horror stuff, which is what I wish this one would have done. I don't know. Like, you know, again, I understand why they would have done all the scientific stuff. I understand what the impact for the story is, especially if they're setting up more sequels. I get it. So we'll see if that actually pays dividends in future sequels. I don't know. Either way, again, Ring 2, also excellent music. Excellent music. There's like a lot of points in Ring 2 that aren't like in Ring 1, where like the music is like super poppy and upbeat, right? For some like really creepy ass shit. And it's kind of like, what? You know, it kind of throws you for a loop. But overall, I think it's good because it kind of like has that confusing vibe. I think Ring 1 had better music than Ring 2. But either way, overall, so far, so good on these films. And I'm going to check out Ring 0 tonight. But there you go. Ring 2. That's all I got. Boom. So anyway, that's the show. That is the show. It's the Above It All program. So, and empathetic music. Yeah, I mean, it's a vibe. I like it. Like, I like I would say I prefer, like, the kind of weird, screechy, like noise. You know, like, again, my opinion, like, the first movie, it has, like, a very Silent Hill, like, 3 kind of soundtrack, where it's just a lot of, like, you know, like metal clashing with one another and like noise and stuff like that. I like that as far as horror movies. But like, yeah, and empathetic, you know, I've never heard that term before, but it's a good vibe. I like that in general, so I think it's very unique and interesting. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to do a show tomorrow. Hopefully there's no nukes that have been dropped. I'm not sure what's going on with this, you know, Donbass referendum bullshit, but, you know, I don't know when that's supposed to end. I think it's supposed to go until like today or tomorrow or some shit. I'm not sure. I'm getting my booster shot. I think on Friday I'm getting my booster shot. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know how it's going to affect me. The first booster shot and the second one, or I guess the first shot and the second one, they kind of fucked me up for a couple days. The third one fucked me up for a little bit longer. So, you know, it's possible I'll do a no-show. But I like, you know, I like to come on the show and show the side effects, even if it's like a 30-minute show. I don't know. But either way, you know, I'm getting out on Friday, so I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, there you go. I might be doing another Twitch stream tonight. I'm not sure. Yesterday I did a Twitch stream. I played a new Doom WOD that I haven't played before. I played a little bit of it, but I played the whole thing in one go. It's very fun, very enjoyable. And so I might do another stream tonight. Not sure. I'm kind of just, whenever I feel like it. I don't like to necessarily plan things, so whenever I feel like it, I'll do it. I know some people don't like that, but I do, and it's good for my mental health, and my mental health is more important than yours. So, anyway, that's the show. Bye-bye, and have a good rest of your motherfucking day. Is this thing still on?
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Brandon, I agree.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name is Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you'd like to see help out, if not vote for the other guy, give me a look, though.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?